Okay, so howdy. So I'm creating a Zoom call by myself in order to do some teaching about all this beautiful weather we're having. So this is going to Derek and Moses. And you guys did great checking weather yesterday and this morning. And God, we're just so screwed by all this weather. So anyway, let's just look at a few things. So we'll go over here to ForeFlight. And so I have my thing turned on with the US VFR map, which is a sectional view, sectional chart. Aeronautical, which lights up the airports and airspace and stuff. So it's easy, they're easy to click on and get their information. And flight category, which is the pretty green or blue or magenta, red, etc. Colors in the airports. So pretty far zoomed out because I'm going to do some other stuff. But so hover over Hillsborough, and here it is on the 14th at 1700 Zulu. It even tells you over there on the right that it was 32 minutes ago. So half hour ago, the wind was 150 at 4, not much wind. 10 miles visibility and light rain. That's also not bad, but it's overcast at 1,200 feet. And the temperature dew point spread is only 1 degree, so it's not going to clear up anytime soon. 7 degrees, 6 degrees. Down here at McMinnville, I always like to look at the surrounding airports just to make sure there's no just anomaly at one spot or something. So 40 minutes ago at McMinnville, wind 170 at 6, visibility 10, broken at 3,000, so a little bit different cloud layer there. Aurora at 40 minutes ago was VFR, wind 180 at 8, visibility 10, scattered only at 4,700, overcast at 6,500. So it's all over the place as one would expect, with showers and clouds flowing through. So let's go to the Hillsborough one and get the forecast. I mean, it's all blue. They're all marginal VFR. So actually, this just got updated. This was a 4-hour old forecast last I looked. It was just updated 3 minutes ago, and basically it was updated on the 14th at 1730 Zulu, which is 1130 local. Whoops, 17 minus 8 is 7, 8, 9, 930 local. And right this second, it's 934. So fresh forecast, and it changed a lot because there was a bunch of green in here last time I looked. So, so starting on the hour at 10 o'clock, which is 1800 Zulu, through 2000 Zulu, which is so basically from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. Winds not too bad, visibility not too bad, but broken 1300. After that, there's some small changes, scattered 800, still broken 1300. After that, winds get really gusty, 13 gusting to 23. Visibility is down to 4. Scattered 800, overcast 1500. So it's just getting worse, and then a little not so worse, and then worse. And then it's just all over the place. Let's look at the MOS, which Moses found for us is the model output statistics. So another model with more human interaction, I believe. So currently 9 a.m., the winds from the south, broken at 4,000, visibility more than 6. This, by the way, is a 28-minute ago forecast, basically on the hour, just after the hour of 9. And then at 11 a.m., it goes down to marginal VFR because of broken at 2,500. And then an hour later at noon, it's still marginal VFR, broken down to 1,500. And visibility down to 4. And that apparently is valid all the way until tomorrow at noon, tomorrow at midnight, 12 a.m. So these two things agree with each other, maybe not in all the details, but basically the weather is bad and probably deteriorating. It may be up and down a bit, but it's basically yucko. And if someone wanted to, you could read the discussion about the highs and lows and fronts and storms and things like that. So I always take a peek at the winds aloft also. I think yesterday, as you may recall, there were 30 or 40 knots at 3,000 feet. So they're a whole lot calmer, but they're still out of the south and southwest. So at the forecast for 10 a.m. is 196, which is just past south, and then 228, which is south-southwest, south-southwest, etc. So kind of the south and the west, which is where generally our moisture comes from, flowing up off the ocean, and that's usually the flow for the next 6 months, and that's what brings our moisture in most of the time. The speeds aren't too bad. 12 knots, it's 3,000, 12 knots at 6,000, and it goes up at 9,000. Those are all very modest. The wind, just that wind isn't likely to create turbulence, even flowing over the hills to our west and to our south. There could be turbulence for other reasons, but at least, you know, at 40 knots, you just know it's going to be nuts. So here at 1 o'clock, well, the winds apparently are going to go up. Now they're still out of the south and southwest, south-southwest, but even at 3,000 feet, it's up to 20 knots. So just getting much more active as the day goes on. Here we are at 4 p.m. and it's back up to 36 knots. So holy moly, things are happening. So let's do this. So come on over here. I'm going to turn off flight category and turn on radar composite. And here's where it can help to kind of zoom pretty far out and move over so that there's room for the clouds to roll in, because we know they're going to be coming from the south and southwest. So and then down here at the bottom, I can click the little arrow and start the animation and see what it's been doing over the past 43 minutes, basically. This is kind of the pattern. So there's the scattered showers, and as they roll through, you get, you know, you may have clear spots in between, but basically it's rolling through like that. And you can see way down here past North Bend, way down the southern coast of Oregon, it's all just coming from up there. So it's just going to keep on coming. In fact, we can move the map over and see, wait for it to refresh. Well, that's the limit of this display. It's only going to let us see from here over, but there's definitely plenty of moisture going on. So I'll turn that off, go back to flight category. So I'm set up for later, zoom in a little bit. And this is pretty much where I start all my self briefings during the day. It's kind of this Zoom, the situation. Anyway, so then we'll go over to Windy. Windy.com. So look at all that wind. Look at that circulation around probably a low out here off the west coast of Vancouver, way out here, I don't know, 800 miles out. That counterclockwise circulation, and then there's some other circulation that they meet together here. Imagine flying right here in this zone where these two things are coming together. That would be pretty wild. Anyway, this is at the surface. So let me go over here on the right, bring the slider up to 3,000 feet. And here's where we really start seeing some flow. So we'll zoom in a little bit and move over. So here's Aurora. It's stuck in there is Hillsboro, Portland, just to get an idea of where we are. And the forecast for 9 a.m., it says way down here in the lower left. So the wind we're kind of in now is green turning to brown, which down here on the lower right is 20 to 25 knots at 3,000 feet. So I'm going to turn on the animation at the lower left, and we're just going to go forward. There's 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Let's stop the progression at noon. Look at that. It's already blowing pretty much purple, which down on the lower right here is 35 to 40 knots, which we just saw over here on ForeFlight under winds, right? Here's our 1 p.m. forecast, 20 knots, and then later in the day, 36 knots. So they're a little bit off in timing, but winds are definitely getting stronger as this whole big mass of flying, you know, sideways rain starts to move in. So we're in for a pretty wild afternoon. Yeah, that's mainly it. We can also pop over here if it wasn't for all, let me see, hang on a second. On the upper right, where am I looking at? Clouds. So let's look at specifically low clouds, because that's really what we care about. And I'm going to go back to 9 a.m. if I can find it. Come on, 9 a.m. So that's sort of now. It's a half hour ago. And there's all those clouds that those METARs were just talking about at Hillsboro and Aurora and such. And so let's put this into animation. And of course, let's see, yeah, the path of the clouds sort of follows the path of the wind, right, and the rain. So everything's just marching from left to right, and it's just getting worse. There might be a little gap in there where you can see the brown, and then it goes back to being pretty nasty. So turn that off, turn off clouds, just go back to wind, if I can find it. How do I close this? Wind. Okay. So anyway, so that's what it's looking like today. I don't know that tomorrow is going to be a whole lot better, but we'll check it out in the morning. So any questions? I'm right here. And thanks. All right. Bye-bye.